Hello, I'm so happy I got a hold of you, and welcome to a bonus video where we're going to talk about the new demo for the second game from the people who made Octopath Traveler, Project Triangle Strategy. Now, they might go with this title if it's anything like the last game. It's so stupid, but after playing the demo, it actually makes sense. Now, the triangle is referring to this kingdom that it takes place in, where there's 3 different factions. And then, the faction in which your characters take place in are one of the 3 highest houses in that faction that aren't the king and queen. So I'm guessing the triangle is the triangle of the 3 factions, and then the triangle of the 3 factions within the faction. Blah, blah, blah. I've lost you already. Anyways, what's the game like? I can't lie, I love Final Fantasy Tactics, I love Octopath Traveler. This game looks like Octopath Tactics, and it's incredible. The art style in these games are so cool, but does it do Final Fantasy Tactics justice? Is this a good tactics game? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the stuff that's not in the combat. Let's talk about the stories cutscenes, which are pretty good. You know, I'm not a big fan of voice acting in these type of games. When I play it, I'll probably turn that down, but it was alright. Nice, standard fare of kings and queens, people getting betrayed, warring factions happening. There's definitely Game of Thrones influence in here because everything's gonna have it, but I don't mind. The fact that you are the highest faction in, let's just, for layman's term, we have the good faction, the bad faction, and the desert faction. So the bad faction is the one that invades you. This game takes place somewhat in the early beginning of the game because it even tells you when you jump in, you're going to be in chapter, I believe, 6 and 7. Those are the 2 you're playing in. When the bad faction kind of invades your kingdom and ends up beheading the king, and then you play the heir of the, essentially, think of them like the bannermen. So to use Game of Thrones, if you know that, let's assume that, you know, one of them was Robert Baratheon, and then the characters you're playing at are Ned Stark's faction. You know, so that's kind of what it is. So, and the ones that are attacking are, say, the Targaryens. So if you understand what I'm talking about, you know. But it's cool because they give you a new thing now where you can, instead of being in an RPGs where you have a hub world, they have a little bit of an exploration part, but it's an exploration in a defined area, and it's usually an area that's going to become a battle map. So it's almost good that it gives you a chance to explore what can happen on this map. There's places that can go up, places that can go down. You can see where things that you can set up booby traps will be. So that's cool. I can see the potential in that, and I like it. Another thing it lets you do is it gives you some chat tree options. So there is a little bit of Octopath DNA in this. Definitely the way it just looks, the way spells go off, they're all very reminiscent of it, which is a good thing. I think the only thing that's not quite hitting right now for me from as far as that is the music. I think the music's in some early stages. It does not strike me the way the Octopath music does, but art style is still great. Now you have a complete full reign of the camera system, so you can move at 360 degrees while you're in your combat sections and get great views. You know, after just playing the Banner Saga, that's something I really was complaining about. This game's not going to have that at all, and it's just, I mean, the areas where you can talk to your allies, they even give you the option to essentially have divergent paths that you vote on, but then you have to get your allies to vote the way you want. And the way you get them to vote the way you want is you have to persuade them. So you can fail this. Some characters may not be convinced to do what you want. The thing they gave me was you have the young prince of the kingdom, so the good kingdom's prince. So you have him in your clutches, and essentially the bad kingdom wants to take him and do what they're going to do. So you have the option to give them the prince or not. And a bunch of my allies wanted to give the prince over because obviously if you didn't, you're going to get fucked up. Well, I managed to convince my people not to do it, and even after persuading everyone, getting all the information I could about how we can burn down some of our houses and use it for booby traps, I didn't get everyone to go my way. So I can see that being an interesting dynamic. Now, because I made that decision, I think, unlike other games where whenever you make a multiple choice question. It doesn't really affect anything. I think this game might actually do it. It might actually be more in line with a Trials of Mana or something to that bent, where there actually is stuff in the game that if you play through it, you're not going to see if you go down a certain path. I mean, Tactics Ogre's that way too, I would imagine. I did only play it once, but I think that's how it is too, that you only get certain options based on what you do. And I'm extremely excited for it. But let's get to the heart of what makes this game so good, which is the combat. Now, initially, there's two battles you do. You have essentially an escape mission, and then you have a wave battle sort of defense, because that's what I picked. Now, I didn't play through the demo twice. If I decided to give the prints up, I don't know what would happen. But the main difference in here is there's no casting time, so when you use something, you use technique points instead of mana, and the technique points you can get more by doing certain actions on the battlefield, so either attacking someone that's weak to what you do, or backstabbing them, or getting a chain strike. And then the more technique points you have, you can then use more advanced abilities, and the more you use your abilities, you then learn abilities. At least that's what it seems like, because I was using the heal over and over again, and then it gave me the group heal, and it's a fun mechanic. I like it. Don't have to worry about mana, don't have to worry about running out of reagents, so it gives you some really interesting choices for battle. There's different, you have a buffing class, you have the guy on a horseback, you have the girl who has the falcon, so she shoots arrows over distance. Your main character, he's kind of just this random sword guy. And then there's magic classes, which the magic classes can be pretty interesting. Now, I didn't get any footage of my second battle, but the ice mage can make a wall, and I actually managed to use that to trap the one of the invading armies that were all 3x3, and I just blocked them in a corner, and they couldn't move, and pretty much won me the battle because of that. So it opens up a lot of opportunities, but the big thing that's really cool in this is that they will show you if when you move your character, it'll show you when on the battlefield if you're moving into your enemy's attack range. So it makes it very clear, okay, if I go here, I'm going to get attacked. Similar to Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem, I think, does something similar like that, or at least you can see how far they can go, and then you can infer. Well, this one will show a little red line go into your character, and then you can see, oh, this person's going to get likely attacked. But it's not perfect, because if you move another character into that line, then all those enemies might attack them, because I think the AI goes after weaker characters. And if you attack someone from the front or from the back, it's always a critical. But what's nice is if you have one of your allies stationed on the opposite side of that enemy, they will do a attack as well. So if you attack from the front and someone's behind them, they will attack. Now, the flip side, the enemy can do that to you. And they seem to be a lot better at setting that up than I was. I was getting my ass kicked from that. But yeah, you have the healer, you have the fire mage, the ice mage, you know, and you can recruit characters too. I managed to pick up 2 characters as I was playing in some separate vignettes. One was a lady who uses rain and lightning magic, and there's a bit of Divinity Original Sin as far as the way you can have synergy happen between the magics. So you can freeze concrete and then burn it to turn it into water, and then electrocute it to make it even more powerful. So much possibility in this game. The combat is very good. It evokes Final Fantasy Tactics in all the right ways. It has the thing where you can change your facing. It has the same feel of the terrain. It's great. It's great. I'm very much looking forward to this game. I can't wait. It sucks that I have to wait a year. Now, a couple of negatives I will say. It seemed to kick you out of the stories unnecessarily. It had you click on essentially the map over and over, and they even gave you the option to look at these side stories, although it's kind of like, why wouldn't you just have them all play in a row as a big cutscene? I get maybe in multiple playthroughs you don't want to have to go through it again, but you can just skip those. I just felt a little odd. The way Tactics was is when you saw a red square, that meant you were going into a battle. And this one was kind of like it was more of a story cutscene, and then you would go into a battle. But that's a minor gripe. I can see where they set up the ability to send your troops on missions, sort of the way you did in Tactics when you go into the encampment, where you can buy stuff. And I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. The Octopath group, you know, if you end up calling this triangle strategy, more power to you, because I'm gonna love it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the demo. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you're thinking of, I mean, pick it up and try it out for yourself. Highly recommended if you're a big fan of strategy tactical games like I am, and if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, there's a lot to like here. This music needs a little bit of a step up. But anyways, that's your video for today. Go and check it out. So nice getting a hold of you guys. Take care.